Let's talk about the ladies' Tensky smartwatch. One that I'm currently sporting at the moment, and I purchased this watch a couple of weeks ago because my current watch broke, unfortunately, and I'd been using this watch for a long time. Basically, I was really disappointed that it broke, but I just thought to myself, this is the perfect opportunity to try something new and just to see how it works. And I'd never had a smartwatch before, not gonna lie to you. It's new, a new trial for me, if you like. I saw that this watch had loads of really great features and thought to myself, for the price, it was quite a reasonable price. I really wanted to just try it out and see what it had to offer. So today I'm going to just go into the features a little bit more and explain a little bit more about what it's about, so that you can decide if this is something that potentially you could be interested in. To begin with then, here we have the watch itself. It has a 1.7-inch screen on there. It's a really nice smooth screen. It looks very similar to an Apple Watch, in all honesty. It does come in 5 colours, so you do have darker colours. There's a purple as well, if you did fancy a different colour strap. At the back there, just at the top, that's where you actually place the charger for the watch, and it's magnetic, so it clips in very easily. You know it's connected straight away. It takes 2 hours for it to charge, and then it gives you up to 8 days of charge on the watch. Right, if you just press it once at the side, it brings up your screen interface with the time, calories, date and miles walked on there, and you can see it's 48% charge on the watch at the moment. Beats per minute on the top right, it's not showing currently because I've not put it around my wrist. Obviously it does need to be on your wrist for that to show up. Press it again and it brings up all of your other icons. There's different views that you can have this in. Currently I've got them all showing on the screen, but you can have it as a list view as well. You've got your health data, which shows your activity, your distance, your steps, and you can change your health goals on there if you want to. So that kind of gives you like a bit of an overview. It's worth just noting as well, this watch is IP68 water resistant, basically. So you can actually use this in water, although you can't use it in seawater and you can't use it in hot water, but you can use it anywhere else basically. So it's up to 1.5 meters, and yeah, up to I think about 30 minutes of usage in water is fine. Just in case you did want to try all that out, just be aware that there is a year's warranty on the watch, and there is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week customer service support on there as well, which is great to know. One of the first things that you come across then is the health data information on the top left, and it tells you your activity. It's got your calories that you've burnt, your exercise duration, the exercise that you've been partaking in, the number of steps. You've got your step counter and your distance, which is really good because it's always useful to have that. And next to that, you've got your fitness modes, which is really good because in here you've got 60 different fitness activities that you can select depending on what you're doing. Outdoor, indoor, you've got hiking, cycling, you've even got cricket. I mean, you've got everything on here. Yoga, Pilates, HIIT. Obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you select one of those, it will monitor your activity based on what you're doing at the time, which is really good. Moving on then, you've also got your Alexa built into the watch. You press the button on the side. Alexa, what is the date today?
Today is Sunday the 5th of March.
You also have your core features of the watch, so you can add in your favorites there. You can add in your top 10 favorites of people that you call a lot. You've got call history and you have a dialer, so you can call directly from the watch, and you can also receive incoming calls because there's a built-in mic within the watch as well. Okay, just come off that. In addition to that, you've got an exercise record. You also have a heart rate monitor on the watch. Now you have to be wearing the watch obviously for it to produce the correct reading. It gives you your resting heart rate, and the reason why this is so good is if you are an athlete, for example, if you have been doing any form of exercise, it's worthwhile knowing what your resting heart rate is, what your recovery heart rate is, and what your heart rate is after you've exercised, because this information is really useful in being able to ascertain the exercise intensity. And with athletes, you can have a resting heart rate of between 40 and 60 beats per minute, which is quite low. It can actually be less than that. But for the average person, normal person who potentially doesn't exercise often, your heart rate will be higher, and that can be anything from 60 to 100 beats per minute, just so you're aware of that fact, which I think it's useful to know. Now you also have sleep status. Now, as you can see there, I went to bed at 1:12 and woke up at 7:45 this morning because with it being the weekend, I had a bit of a lie in there. I had 6 hours, 33 minutes sleep. Now, that's not all you get with the watch. You get a sleep quality score, obviously dependent on what time you go to bed, what time you wake up, and everything in between. It tells you the different stages of sleep and how long you're in those for. It's quite normal for people to wake up for at least up to 30 minutes a night. Obviously, if you are someone who ends up staying awake for longer than that and you were disturbed and you have disruptive sleep, which you can see I have a little bit disruptive sleep there, then it might be worth just adjusting your sleep pattern accordingly. It might be that you need to make sure that you go to sleep earlier at a set time every night so that it just creates a better sleep pattern. Your circadian rhythm ends up syncing correctly. You also have breath training, which is good for reducing stress. So if you just press that, relax, focus on your breath, do what the watch tells you to do. Inhale. This is so good for your mental health, guys. It's like meditation. Release that stress. Check out your results, and as you can see from there, my beats per minute of my heart rate has gone down by 2. Obviously, if I was just focusing on that, I think it would go down a lot more. Last time I did it, it went down by 8 beats per minute within a minute, which is really good. And we were talking previously about stress monitoring. If you press on this stress function, whilst it's fitted to your wrist securely, you can also come up with a stress score. So it will be able to monitor how stressed you are. And actually, if you scroll up on the watch, it will tell you an explanation about the different readings that you get and whether or not you are stressed, and gives you a little bit more information and insight into that. It does take a few moments for that to work. So obviously it's not ideal. 34, which is normal then basically. And I'll scroll up and it tells me there, look, relaxing is between 1 and 29. Bear with. Normal is 30 to 59 and medium is 60 to 79. Like I say, the watch does go off pretty quickly, so you do need to keep it moving constantly in order for it to work. But you get the gist of that, so that's the main thing. Just want to quickly mention a few more features of the watch just to finish off. You've got menstruation cycle tracking, which is always useful to know. So it tells you at what stage of your menstruation cycle you're at. It's good if you do need to track that, and obviously you can stay on top of it there. you've got weather, you've got the ability to be able to control any music that's playing on your phone via your watch, which is useful if you do have an iPhone. For example, when my screen gets wet, what will happen is it won't let me scroll on the screen, it doesn't work. So having this watch should hopefully alleviate that issue. We've also got your timers and stopwatch, world clock and everything in there, and alarms. You have a decibel feature. With the decibel feature, that's basically making you aware of any external noise and whether or not it's too noisy, basically. So you might want to use that as a check at some point. You do also have a flashlight on the watch, which is great. So you press that. You know, you never know when you might need these things. It'll come in really handy. So just press it on and off. And you've got other settings. You've got a wake gesture, which basically gives you like a little punch to the wrist to wake you up, which is always useful. A do not disturb if you didn't want anything coming through to the watch. And you've got your ringtone settings that you can change in there as well. Just want to come on and say a massive thank you to everyone that's watched this review from start to finish. I just want to end on the note where I just make you aware of some of the cons of the watch. Personally, I couldn't really find too much wrong with it. The only thing that I would say about it is maybe my expectations were a little bit too high for the price. It's a really, really good price. And I kind of hoped with it having Alexa built in that I might be able to do voice activated calling, but it wasn't really very realistic to expect that for what it cost. So that was really the only downside of the watch for me. Everything else I've been really happy with. One thing that I didn't mention, which is a pro on the watch, is the fact that you can connect all of your social media to this if you wanted to. Obviously that's optional. Not everybody wants to have notifications popping up constantly, but you can if you want to. You'd be surprised what you can add to this. It's really, really great watch. It's got loads of functionality, and hope you've enjoyed the review. Just want to say a massive thank you for sticking with me. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found something useful on here. If you are potentially looking at purchasing a smartwatch, you know, this seems like to be the ideal companion basically for fitness, for wellness, and it's just a good all-rounder, and it looks decent, you know, it's quite smart as well. So anyway, I'll leave you to mull it over, have a little think about that, see what you think, and if you do have any questions or any comments, please leave them below. There you go, you can just see that a notification's just popped up there. So it's worth just showing you that. I've got a few things popping up now, look. You know, you can't get away from it, not even when you're doing a video, but that's someone showing support of my posts on my page basically. So yeah, if you do want to contact me, you can do. I have a Facebook page. I've also got Instagram. It's Holistic Habits for Happiness. And yeah, I'll look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.